All right, the customer complaint is unit will not stop heating. I just came from inside, looked at the thermostat. They had the thermostat set to off, and it was 67 in here. I didn't hear, oh Lord, that's okay, that works. I did not hear this interior unit running. There is one down duct over there. I'm trying to see if I can find the light for me. Oh, the duct didn't fall off. The duct's tore up. Okay. Yeah, the innards fell completely out with a 6-inch. May have to get them a 6-inch duct to go in there. Because it's only it's a really short run from there to there. Wonder if there's rivets. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take this door off. Because first thing I think when I hear a house is getting hotter than the set point, or a house won't stop heating, is the fact that these sequencers could be stuck. Oh Lord. It's nasty in there, alright? I hear a loud humming, but I believe it's just the... Yeah, I think that's just a loud transformer. They could definitely use a little servicing in here. Clean the suspicious biological growth off of these wires. And I'm in here in the cabinet. Yeah, the blower wheel needs clean too. Let me see if I can get you in here to see that. I don't know if you can tell, but from that angle, but there's definitely enough dirt crap on there to warrant cleaning. But nothing is running at the moment. Just put that on the main line. Maybe I can get that where you can see it. Hang that up. You should be able to see that bottom screen right there. Let's see, let's just jumper white to red and see what happens. Yeah, these wires are nasty. We're definitely going to recommend a tune-up on this thing. Alright. Oh no, my battery's dying on this thing. I guess I'm not going to turn the light on. I'll just tell you, this is 1.56. I heard something click in. That was the strip heats. Now we're pulling 43 amps. Yeah, and the way these sequencers look, there's a good possibility that they were getting stuck. But I'm going to ask more questions, because I'm not 100% certain that was the issue. When I got here, the man who called us out on the service call wasn't here, and I started asking questions about what it was doing. And so it could be just that this unit was running all the time just to keep the temperature, but I'm pretty certain that it was running even past the set point. But when I got here today, it was off, and it was 67 in the house. And I have to wonder if they saw the, if they turned it off and it ran for an extra 30 seconds, a minute, and then they called us because the sequencer just didn't shut down yet. But now that it's been running a little bit, I'm gonna undo the red. And we can time this. See how long it takes. And the fan kicked off. Beautiful.
I think they said they turned it on air conditioning and the heat come on.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he said.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go flip it up to air conditioning then. If you just heard that phone call, but apparently it's been heating and air conditioning mode. So, I mean, it's not a total loss of time. We know the sequencer wasn't stuck. So now I'm gonna turn it to AC mode. In fact, I'm gonna put this door on. Might regret it, but I'm gonna slap this door on. Because now I'm wondering if it is that thermostat. Compression ratio, but that's just because, like I stated earlier, it's like 50 out here and 67 inside. That'll happen. Let me hook these up just because I'm here and I might as well see where the superheat and subcool are. I'm not going to really rely on it at all with these temperatures. But they're not bad. That TXV is metering properly, at least the indoor one. Now, instead of going inside, I'm going to just go ahead and jump the reversing valve, so I can go ahead and test out heat mode. All right. There's another issue, that supply panel needs to be taped up. I can feel air blowing out of there. But we've got it in AC mode right now. And I'm just taking it apart and making sure that somehow, some way, that strip heats did not get energized. I mean, I tested white out there on the defrost board. There was no signal. But I've been fooled by that before. 1.5 on that. So it really could have been a sticking sequencer that got unstuck. We know that the high pressure switch was tripped outside, but he said that the system was blowing out hot air in air conditioning mode too. So put the supply probes in the ducts in the supply and return, and got a 18-degree delta T, which the complaint was it was blowing out hot air in the heat in air conditioning mode, which we cannot get it to replicate those symptoms. We have tested it in air conditioning mode. We've tested the sequencers to see if they got stuck. I traced out the wires off camera to make sure a mouse hadn't chewed into them. So at this point, I believe we have some type of intermittent issue, if an issue at all. Now, this was out on a high pressure switch, and when we went inside to check the vents, we asked them where the vents were, and they said they didn't know. So I think they're covered up with furniture and whatnot inside a lot of them, because the one vent that I could find that was hooked up, I was able to find the two vents that are blowing into the crawl space, at least the registers for those vents, and of course there's no air blowing out of those. And one vent that I did find was blowing out pretty hard, so I'm thinking that most of the vents could be covered up from furniture. So I don't know how long, I say that to say I don't know how long that pressure switch has been out. It could have been something that happened earlier in the winter, and when that happened, it was just relying solely on the strip heats to get heat, and maybe that made the strip heats, the sequencer stick. But I mean, either way, they should have stuck if they're working properly. But the problem is, I don't know that, and I don't think that this high pressure switch has much. I'm trying to figure out how this high pressure switch could affect the indoor unit blowing out hot air in the summertime, or not the summertime, but in AC mode. Because even if that was stuck, he had the thermostat set to cool. So even if that was stuck, we should have had cold air blowing out the vents, if anything, unless that solenoid stuck or the reversing valve got stuck. Which the reversing valve is switching back and forth as intended now. The contactors are pulling in and out as they're supposed to. The sequencers are disenergizing when they need to. Everything on this system mechanically seems all right, except for that high pressure switch that could have been caused from a stuck contactor, but it would have had to have been a stuck contactor in heat mode, and it could have been from just furniture on the vents. And that was, you can see the cover, that was a dryer vent right there at some point, and so that is lit on the coils. I checked the evaporator coils though, and you would be surprised how clean they were after you've seen that evaporator fan. So they must have been cleaned at some point, or the evaporator coil replaced at some point, because the coils are pretty pristine for this scenario. But yeah, I'm kind of stumped on this one. We're definitely going to recommend a cleaning, replacing those vents, and replacing the contactor because it is pitted. But I would like to just go ahead and swap out the sequencers just to hedge my bets. But even then, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it would be blowing out hot air with what we've seen today. So if you have any suggestions, put them down in the comments. And hopefully if we get called back out here, it will continue the problem when we are here. Because that is the worst as a heat and air man. When you show up, the customer states an issue, and you just can't find it. It's working perfectly normal for you. And you find bits and pieces, and you gotta put all the clues together and find out. In our case, okay, so here's one thing that we have theorized. There's down vents in there, and the easiest vent for him to feel would be one of the two that don't have any airflow going to them. And as we've seen, there's hot air being piped into the basement. I wondered if there was a draft picking up the hot air from the basement and bringing it up to him when he was in air conditioning mode, and that's what he felt. I mean, that seems plausible to me. I don't know, that could be a thing. But really, there is no, I'm not set in stone in what I believe it is. I'm just a little bit aggravated that, oh, and it looks like that fan's going really slow, but that's just the camera. That fan's spinning full speed. So, yeah. If you have any suggestions, any tips or tricks that I haven't thought of, I mean, I'll look to see if the defrost, I even looked to see if the defrost board is sending out 24 volts out of Y. But, I mean, of course it's not. I mean, I tested the strip heats and they were off. But I just tested it to see. And nothing. So. Alright, we got to go ahead, take this blower out, clean it, and clean up the rest of the unit. So, get that tune up going. Those up top. I'm gonna leave this down here. There you go. There's you look at that nasty fan wheel, decreasing efficiency and and reducing just overall hair quality. Nasty. Alright, let's get started on this. A little bit of penetrating on that shaft. Because it looks, I don't know, don't have enough. Yeah, something like that. Should have grabbed the wire brush while I was up there, but I didn't. Nasty. No, I got it. Yeah. Yep, you don't clean these suckers off, they can, you know, the fan will get imbalanced, it'll shake up. And they say for every 10th inch of dirt on the fan wheel, that's 10% of your efficiency gone. I don't know how true that is for every system, but that's what they say. Good line to sell tune-ups though. We'll say they'll gain efficiency, but we don't say by how much. And there's the after. All right, let's clean off this growth or dirt. Really, a lot of this just looks like dirt, to be honest with you. I mean, some of it does look like growth, but the wires aren't really bad caked up with it. Normally when you have growth in the unit, the wires are one of the first places to accumulate. Not this bad boy. That's a ton better than it was. There's still some staining in there you can see that I can't get out. But if there is any mold left, it's going to die. You will be very surprised how well Cool Cleaner kills. I don't mean mold, I meant suspicious growth. You'd be very surprised how well Cool Cleaner kills suspicious growth. We've used Cool Cleaner, put it on a rag, rub it around in there. Brown stuff works really good. Now this is just the microchannel safe stuff, so we'll see. But the Pro Brown you put it on a rag, wipe the wires down in the cabinet, and that stuff does not come back for years and years. We tried it with other stuff, and it'll come back the very next maintenance. So I think it has a lot to do with the sliminess of the cool cleaner, and the residue that it leaves behind is just, I guess, toxic for the mold, and it doesn't grow. And I believe, without any scientific proof, that's why it lasts so much longer than if you say use bleach. You know, bleach is going to evaporate, and they say you use bleach and it just comes back worse because the water stays in its moist area. But there's almost no way of stopping mold from going in one of these cabinets other than a UV light. And UV light's only going to stop the mold from growing where it's shining. So if we put a UV light here, that whole ductwork system is going to be possibly could have mold in it, or suspicious growth. Or because there's no way, we don't know that it's mold. We just know there's stuff growing here. We haven't done a lab test on it, but we put one true surefire way. What I like to do is filters. I believe filters are really the way to stop mold from growing, because you need three things for mold: darkness, dampness, and food. Now, in an air conditioning system, especially in this cabinet, you're going to have darkness and you're going to have dampness. I mean, you can stop the darkness with a UV light, but then all through the ductwork is going to have that dampness. At least, especially the first little bit of the plenum, the moisture, just the humidity coming off the coils in the summertime. But if you have a filter and you stop the food from getting in, then that's the way to stop mold from going, I believe. So instead of UV lights, I would recommend a 3-inch filter, really high grade. Not necessarily getting a higher rated 1-inch filter, because especially around here, people don't size ductwork properly. You put a really restrictive 1-inch filter in, you might stop the mold from growing, but you're really going to hinder your performance. So that's why I believe a 3-inch filter or 6-inch filter is the way to go on stopping mold. Ouch.
Set.
Huh?
You mean to hold up that line set?
No, it's not really in my way.
Didn't do any extra with this thing in, did they? I don't think. Is the line set even got the strap on it?
Nope. You sure don't. All right, we got her wiped down, looking a ton better. Gonna plug her in and see how she does. I gotta put the outside together though, almost forgot. Got the growth killed. We sprayed down the coils inside with a water hose. We didn't use chemicals because there was no growth or really much dirt on them. So whenever I can, I don't use chemicals. If it's something that's fairly clean, I don't want the excess erosion. Just for nothing, we do have drain tabs in. I'll show you when I climb outside. That drain line was clogged to the max. Let me get out here and show you. Wow, sunlight. When we clean this drain line, you can see the filth that came out of there. So no doubt that was stopped up and was gonna cause more moisture issues in the basement come summertime. All right, let's clean this compartment out. Oh, wait a second. A little cap for the, let's put that on. Just gonna finger tighten it for now so I can clean this out. Like blow the dust. Should have done this first thing. So, that plastic's in bad shape. Yeah, get all that bug larvae out of there. Keep it from hatching. All right, we almost got this thing completed. So go ahead, leave your hate comments, how you've done it differently. Much appreciated. All right, let's test this capacitor. Now, before you start working on a capacitor, you want to lick your finger, and you want to short those out so you don't cause any incidents later on. Because if you do that with your needle nose or something, I've seen it to where it'll like blacken the side of it, or you don't want that. So just lick your fingers, jump all 3 pins together at the same time, just like that. Then that'll keep you from ruining one of your tools. You wouldn't want that. Fingers grow back. Iron, not so much. But this is a 40+5 capacitor. Let's see if I can get this in the shot with the... Oh yeah, now you're perfect. You can see everything I'm doing. Got common, the hermetic, 40, +5. You never want to admit you done it wrong on the internet, because everybody watching the video is perfect.
What, are you going to cut that out?
And nothing. Yeah, it was. But I thought it was a good opportunity to just to educate you that everybody watching this video right now is perfect.
Everybody knows more than my 30 years experience.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even that one guy just got out of trade school. Yep.
Man.
Especially him.
All that time for nothing.
Yep.
I'm sure, surely there's something I know that they don't.
I doubt it.
So I'll go work in Walmart. You'll make the big money.
I better have hooked that up right when I said that. Yeah, I got it right.
Are you sure that? Oh yeah, I see that.
I'm gonna do this. Now, does this help? Probably not. But the thought is I'm reducing the heat on the capacitor by just connecting the common wire to here on the fan instead of the capacitor. Cause heat's one of the driving causes of capacitors going out in the summertime. If I can reduce that by just a little bit, I will. But maybe I'm just putting too much stress on the transformer. I mean,
You really seen how it was wired factory.
it's okay. It probably, I think it's wired back into the capacitor. All right, we got her finished up. Got the outside clean, taken apart, coils squeaky clean now. Cleaned the compressor compartment, even wiped down the compressor, so all that's good. Still somewhat stumped of what could have caused that issue. Like I've stated earlier, I have a few theories. We've tested some things. Could the reversing valve solenoid couldn't be going bad, because at least not the solenoid itself, because it needs to be energized to heat. So this is a ring, but I have my theories as to what has happened, although not certain. But we did what we could as far as cleaning. This thing should be a ton more efficient. The homeowner decided to not go with the duct repairs, which should be done sometime soon, because that's 2 ducts on this system. It's a 2.5 ton system, and just by the velocity of the air coming out, I think a lot of those interior ducts are blocked. So hopefully he can move the furniture from in front of those and gets that duct repair done, so the system will operate as it's supposed to. But as far as it heating while it's supposed to be cooling, not 100% on any particular thing. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what I should have tested. I didn't ohm out the reversing valve solenoid. I thought about it, but like I said, it's not that the solenoid was failing. It would have had to have been energized. I mean, it is possible that the reversing valve did get stuck in heating mode, but everything is running perfectly while we were here. We tested it in air conditioning mode. The superheat looked good. Subcool looked all right, but the temperature was 50 degrees outside when we tested it, so it was hard to really get a good idea of what was going on.